I was thinking I was supposed to be a good wife, a good mother, a good housekeeper, somebody that did something for the church and for the city and for the state and for the nation. That's what an adult did, I thought. So I'm trying to do all these things. And I just couldn't manage it. And I one night just plunged into a depression that said, you're worthless. The children and Bob would be way better off without you. And I had some sleeping pills in the cabinet, a bottle, and I had Valium that they had put me on, and I took 2 bottles of pills, and I wrote a note to Bob. At that time, depression wasn't even spoken. I remember being in the hospital the night before they did the tubal ligation, and the doctor came back in the room. He'd been in to see me, and then he left, and he came back in, and he said, by the way, how are your nerves? And I looked at him like, what are you talking about? I didn't say that, but I said, fine. I didn't know what he meant. Of course, like I say, being raised by a stoic mother that just would tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep on going, that's kind of what we did. And I went home and I quit taking the pills altogether. And the next day or so, maybe it was 2 days, I don't know, but I got the kids down for their nap, and I sat in the chair in the living room, and I just cried and cried. And I was crying for my mother, who I know did not understand this. So I thought, well, I'm the only mother they have. So even if I'm not doing a great job, I have to do what I can. So I started, I always say, climbing the mountain. And I felt like for every 2 steps I took up, I would slide 1 back, but I'd get back up. I realized then that I had depression, that this antidepressant was making me feel better all the way around. And I had taken antidepressants before, but like I thought they were situational depression. And I would take them until I feel better, and then I'd quit. Well, you have to keep on medication with antidepressant. My friends kept saying, you need to go to a counselor. And I'd say, no, I know what I'm doing. I just am going to work this out. No, you need to see a counselor. So I finally signed up, and they said, go see so-and-so, because they knew all the people at the center. And he was a psychologist, and he told me he actually taught me how to think like an adult. It isn't what happens to you that makes you feel the way you do, and it isn't the result of that. It's what you do in between. It's how you process it and how you think about it and what you do. So this is what he taught me. Try to say to yourself, what is it that's making me feel bad? And why do I feel bad about that? For example, one day I'm walking home from downtown. We lived close, and I said, I was feeling bad. And I thought, well, okay, why? Why am I feeling bad? And I thought, well, it's because so-and-so said this. And I think they meant that they didn't like the way I handled that, or they didn't like me, or something. And I thought, well, is that rational? And I thought, well, not necessarily. Could have been any number of things. And did anybody say anything nice to me? Well, yes, about 8 people said nice things to me that day. But no, I wasn't concentrating on that. I was concentrating on the one bad thing. It's like we have an arrow, and it's going over here, and you grab it and pull it into your chest. So then I felt better, see? So I just learned to think rationally. And I'm also learned that I'm responsible for my happiness, not anybody else. Don't say to your spouse, you made me unhappy. They don't make you unhappy. You make you unhappy.